Hi, this video is to show you how to use the gift card tracker that is found in lessonslearnedinbusiness.com. This gift card tracker is designed to help you keep track of your gift cards that you've purchased for use in retail arbitrage or other methods. This download can be acquired from lessonslearnedinbusiness.com, and the way this works is there's a few different tabs here. If we take a look down here at the bottom, you can see that I have a few different tabs here. And it's pretty simple in the way that this works. Let's say I have a specific store here, which is Walmart, and I've actually purchased gift cards from Walmart.com. I'm sorry, I actually purchased gift cards for Walmart.com. I ordered them from, let's say, Raise.com. What I would do is I would put in where it says site purchased from. I would put in the site it was purchased from. Then we put in the order number, put the purchase date. We put in the gift card number and the PIN number. Then where it says gift card original value, we would type in the amount that has the original value. For saving space purposes, once we actually start using this, I like to highlight these three columns, right click and hide them because you no longer need them. And then when you actually need them again, it's like when you're adding in new gift cards or if you need to look up a problem, you highlight these areas here and we would unhide them. There we go, they show up again. So I like to hide those three there. And now we can see that we have a physical card column, and then we also have a card given to column. These are used in cases that you have a physical card instead of an actual like printed out card or a digital card. That way you can keep track of which ones are which. Also, if you've actually physically given the card to someone, or you've printed the gift card number on a piece of paper and given it to someone, you can list that here as well. And that's useful for contractors, employees, or whoever else you may give them to. Now, how do you actually use this? If you're placing an order online, then you could put the order number underneath the order number used, and then the date that you placed the order, and the amount that was actually used on the card. And what will happen is that as you type in the numbers here for value used, it will actually adjust the amount that's on the gift card current value column. I would strongly recommend not attempting to change this, because if you do, it will actually mess up the formula and will cause an issue. So now what we do is when you have a second order, you would put it on the column next to it here. Let's say there was a third order, or you had them place something in store. You can have them put in a receipt number or anything that's kind of denoting what it is. So we'll just say the receipt number is, that's the receipt number you got from Walmart. And then the date, which I'll throw in here, date of today, which is 11/17/2015. Then the amount used, let's say, is 3102, which now takes the current value down to 0, as you can see. Now, when you start adding in additional gift cards that are, let's say you get a brand new gift card. So we're going to need to unhide this area again here. And so we'll put in here, let's say you bought it from Cardpool. And we'll just put in a random number. And we purchased it today. And we'll use a random gift card number here. And then a random PIN. And the amount was $125. Okay, if you notice, this column here for the gift card current value doesn't actually fill down. So what you'll have to do is hover over to the corner here where it has a little plus sign and just kind of drag it down. And you'll see it actually drags down that formula. Keep in mind that if you've actually messed up the formula in some method, then you will not be able to drag it and it'll continue to mess up. So I would recommend keeping a fresh copy of the tracker in case you need to pull in the formulas for some reason. And so that's how you would do it. And of course, if it was a physical card, we'd mark it off. If it was a physical card, if we gave it to someone, we'd mark it off there. And that's really all you do with this. Now, if you notice, I have put in a freeze panes here, which I do not have set up right now on Target. So what happens is that as you start scrolling right, it no longer shows the current value. So you see how you scroll right, and you can scroll all the way over, and you can see these are kind of color coded, so you can tell these three columns belong to one order, these three columns belong to another order, and so forth. So if you want to actually set the freeze pane so it looks like this, where you can actually scroll over to the right and these kind of stay where they're at, which works extremely well if you're hiding these three columns, because then you have the gift card, the PIN number, the current value, and the original value, and now you can scroll over and this stays there. On how to set that is you would go to H2, which is the area you want to set the cross at. Then we go to, I believe it's View and Freeze Panes. And then we click on Freeze Panes. And you can see now it freezes the panes, so the top column doesn't move anymore. And also this is frozen right there. If you want to turn it off, just unfreeze the panes again there. Next, let's say you have a new store that aren't one of these down here. Well, what do? Well, I've created right here, it's called a new store template. All you need to do is right click it here, and then do move or copy, and create a copy, and we'll just move it to the end here. And you'll see immediately creates a new copy. We can double click on this and rename this to whatever we want. And we'll just say new store. There is one final thing here, is if you do add a new store, there is a tab here for the total gift card value, which if you want to keep track of how much your total current value is, then if you add a new store, you'll want to add it to this sheet as well here. So what we would do is just continue on down the list here as you go down, and we would add this in here that says, let's see here, we'll say new store, because that was the name of the new store we just had. Then we're going to do a formula here. We're going to do equal sum, parenthesis. We're going to go over to our new store and just highlight the entire gift card current value column, end off the parenthesis, and hit enter. And now you can see it has added that in there. Perfect. And so that is how you would add a new store if you had one. And that is pretty much about it of how you use this. It's relatively simple, not very difficult to use. And if you have any questions, just throw them on the comments section of where you received this particular tracker, and we'll be glad to help you out with any questions. Keep in mind that this is somewhat of a rudimentary Excel spreadsheet that I've put together for my own use, and it might not be great for commercial uses. You can also upload this to the Google Docs, which is typically where I use it, is actually in Google Docs, because we have multiple contractors and employees accessing it. And I'm actually going to put a link in the README first area here, which I actually have where it says Google Docs version. I haven't actually put a link in yet, but in the version that you have, it will actually have a link to Google Docs where you can click on that Google Docs and make a copy of that sheet, and you can use it as you please. Or the other option is you can take this particular file, and you can take this particular file here and then upload that to Google Docs and switch it over to a sheet, and that alone right there will actually allow you to use in Google Sheets as well, or Google Docs. So that's about it. Thanks.